Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to The Remote Traveler. Today we'll be talking about the common misconceptions and biggest surprises regarding Lebanon. So, a little bit of background is I'm actually an American. My first time coming to Lebanon was in October of 2019. A week after I landed, the revolution started, and I had no idea what it meant at the time, but I was hearing a lot of Sauda, Sauda. Anyways, despite kind of those complications that came from it, I ended up still enjoying my time in Lebanon. And after another 3 months, I ended up returning to Lebanon. I've been here the better part of 3 years. So in this time here, I realized that there have been probably a lot of misconceptions about Lebanon from talking to friends back home. And so I wanted to talk about those, and I wanted to talk about some of the things that have surprised me the most to find out in my time here. So that's why I made a little list that I'd like to kind of go over. So anyways, before we start, subscribe to our channel and also hit the notification bell if you want to be notified about future videos. So number one, you can get away with speaking English here, right? It does help if you speak Arabic. Armenian's even common here. Another big language here is French, because the French occupied Lebanon for quite a while, but 30% of the population actually speaks English. Now, that being said, personally, if I'm in a situation where I'm trying to negotiate something, I like to have someone that speaks Arabic with me just so I get a better price. Number two, it's really safe in Lebanon. So despite like travel warnings and different things you'll see, violent crime is not that common here, and petty crime is also not very common either. Things like the Beirut Blast, like, and what the media might show, that's not normal. Those are a lot of times like isolated incidents. If there is an area that's maybe more dangerous, it might be like towards Baalbek or certain areas, and you'll usually you'll kind of know when things are not really as stable. But let's say you're towards Beirut or towards the coast, like you're not usually gonna have a whole lot of problems. And if you're a woman too, I'd say you're probably gonna actually feel safer walking here than you would in many parts of the States, believe it or not, because you could have just like isolated things happen there. Number three, Lebanon is super mountainous, okay? This really, really surprised me exactly how mountainous it is, because like Lebanon for landmass, like my home state is Georgia back in the United States. Well, Georgia is actually 15 times larger than the landmass of Lebanon. And a lot of what you have is you have here like mountains and then coast. Now, further east and north, you might have, like the Bekaa Valley, like you'll have some flat area. But yeah, it's a ton of mountains. So that was kind of surprising to me. Number four, you can actually go skiing in Lebanon. So Lebanon has several really nice ski resorts, and during the winter, there's usually a lot of snow to enjoy skiing and snowboarding. And that's why what they say about being able to go to the beach and being able to go to like ski in the same day is actually true. And I can think of at least one day where there was warm enough at the beach where if you had wanted to go swimming, you could, but there's still snow on the mountains, and I was seeing videos of people still snowboarding and all that. So I thought that was kind of cool. And they're also only an hour apart, so you can easily do both at the same time. Number five, right, is the Lebanon hunger for life. So in spite of the ups and downs in the country, the people will always find a way to keep the fun parts going, right? That's why, like, really, I mean, with the economic crisis and all this stuff happening, like there's no way all these nightclubs should have been able to stay open, but they were absolutely able to pull that off, which I thought was really cool. And that's why this reputation for like having one of the best nightlifes in the world is very much justified. Number six, this is my favorite personally. I'd say that the history is mind blowing, and I say this because like I geek out over this because back in the States, like we just don't have stuff that's this old. It's just not a thing, right? So I'd say if you're into ancient temples, ruins, anything like that, this is your place, because some of the reasons would be that we have outside of Rome, the Baalbek complex, for instance, is probably the most magnificent Roman era like structure there is. Like for megalithic architecture, it's just brilliant. Like So that's one thing. You also have the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world in Byblos. You have Tyre and Sidon. You have the Farah ruins, and much more. And you'll also find like Phoenician influence. You'll see the Roman influence, the Egyptian influence, and a lot more than that, like the Amorites before that. So number 7 is, I would say, the religious piece, right? Lebanon has something like 18 religious sects. I don't know if that number's exact, but you'll notice churches and mosques are built side by side all throughout the country to signify this sort of religious cooperation and peace. So I think that's pretty cool. And, and what's interesting about it is like it's differences that for other people would tear them apart, but not the Lebanese. Like I think there's been so much that the country has gone through together that it's really, I feel like, solidified and tightened the people. Now, anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that it kind of gives you some insights into, I don't know, some things that maybe you didn't expect about Lebanon. But thank you so much for watching The Remote Traveler. I will be putting out more content about Lebanon, about being a digital nomad, how we make our living remotely, all this stuff. And in the meantime, I guess just thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to our channel.